So today I'll take up 5 generations of computers. Then some information related to internet. Okay. So in the previous class, we have seen something about the computer terminology like inputs, what are the different inputs, outputs, and networks also we have covered, right? So in this class, we'll see different 5 generations of computers. So in this also, I'll give you some information which you need to remember, which are very important. So let us start with the generations of computer. The computers has evolved from a large sized. See, the computers which we are seeing right now is very small, but when the computer was invented, it was a big, large sized, and mostly the functions which are being held in that is like a simple calculating machine to a smaller but much more powerful machine. And the evaluation of computer to the current state is defined in terms of, see how it was like even we are evaluated from number of we know that we are evaluated from like apes, right? మనిషి కోతి నుంచి లైక్ ఎలా వచ్చాడో దాన్ని కూడా జనరేషన్స్ లో చూపిస్తారు. So not only that, now even the generations which are existing right now, we have divided into X generation, Y generation, Z generation, right? In the same way, the computers was invented in the earlier stages, but there are a lot of modifications happened in between. So based on the modifications happened in between, we have segregated that into the different generations. Each generation of computer is designed based on a new technology development. So the generation was divided based upon the new technology which was developed in that, and it is resulting in a better and cheaper and smaller computers that are more powerful, faster, and efficient. See, let us see first generation computers, which was around from 1940 to 1956. The first computers, you need to remember this vacuum tubes. Okay, first computers used vacuum tubes, a sealed glass tube containing a near vacuum which allows the free passage of electronic current for circuitry and magnetic drums for memory. For the memory purpose, they used these vacuum tubes. This is the main thing which you need to remember. First generation computers, see 5 generation computers are there. First generation computers ఏది యూజ్ చేసింది అంటే వాక్యూమ్ ట్యూబ్స్ అలా యూసేజెస్ దాని గురించి గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి, ఇంపార్టెంట్ టాపిక్. ఓకే, first generation computers relied on the machine language. They were very expensive when compared to the computers which we are purchasing right now. Initially when it was invented, it was very expensive to operate, and in addition to using a greater deal of electricity, generated a lot of heat, which was often the cause of malfunctions. So like breakdowns కానీ సడన్ గా ఆగిపోవడం అట్లాంటి చాలా లైక్ malfunctions అనేటివి జరిగేది when first generation computers were used. The UNIVAC and ENIAC computers are examples of first generations. These are the 2 examples. This is also one point which you need to remember. UNIVAC and ENIAC. These are the examples of the first generation computers. Okay. So what are the advantages? Means it was only electronic device, first devices to hold, like this is the first machine which was invented to hold some memory, to store our data. Previously we used papers to write something and to preserve it for the long periods. But this was the first machine which was invented to hold our memory. మన ఇప్పుడు కూడా గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫీసులలోకి వెళ్తే ఒక పెద్ద దుమ్ము పట్టిన బుక్కులు తీస్తారు. ఎందుకు? వాళ్ళు రాసిన ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అంతా స్టోర్ చేయడానికి వాళ్ళు ఆ బుక్స్ యూజ్ చేసేవాళ్ళు. కానీ ఫస్ట్ జనరేషన్ కంప్యూటర్ వాజ్ ద ఫస్ట్ మెషిన్ విచ్ వాజ్ ఇన్వెంటెడ్ టు hold or store some memory. So disadvantages are like large in size when compared to the computers which we are seeing right now. And vacuum tubes burn frequently. Already we have seen that in the malfunctions. They are producing heat, maintenance problems are also there. Second generation computers, ఈ ఇయర్స్ కూడా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలమ్మా. సో 1956 to 1963. సో ఇంతకుముందు ఫస్ట్ జనరేషన్ లో వాక్యూమ్ ట్యూబ్స్ ఉండేటివి, ఇప్పుడు సెకండ్ జనరేషన్ లో ట్రాన్సిస్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ట్రాన్సిస్టర్స్ రీప్లేస్డ్ వాక్యూమ్ ట్యూబ్స్. ఇన్ ద సెకండ్ జనరేషన్ కంప్యూటర్స్ దే యూజ్డ్ ట్రాన్సిస్టర్స్ okay, to run the computers. High-level programming languages are also being developed at this time. They try to develop the programming languages such as early version of COBOL, Fortran. These were also the first computers that stored their instructions in the, see, initially they invented machine to store some data. Then after they started giving some instructions to how to store that memory into the computer. Okay, for that purpose, they have invented some programming languages like COBOL and Fortran. So again, advantages, it was reduced considerably. When compared to the first generations, it was little bit less in size, and it is very, we can't say that these are very fast when compared to the computers which we are using right now. ఈ కంపారిజన్ వచ్చేసి ఈ అడ్వాంటేజెస్ అన్ని ఫస్ట్ జనరేషన్ ని కంపేర్ చేస్తేనే ఈ అడ్వాంటేజెస్ అమ్మా ఫస్ట్ వెరీ ఫాస్ట్ ఫస్ట్ జనరేషన్ కంటే ఫాస్ట్ అంతే కానీ ఇప్పుడు మనం యూజ్ చేసే కంప్యూటర్స్ కంటే ఫాస్ట్ గా అండ్ reliable, immediately they are able to give the answers. They again, these are also like overheated quickly. Here also we have some maintenance problems. So third generation computers, again this is also one point which you need to remember, 1964 to 1971. So transistors were manufactured and placed on silicon chips. The transistors were replaced with silicon chips. Those are called as semiconductors. First generation computers low, what we have used, vacuum tubes, transistors. Now in the third generation we are using semiconductors. Instead of punched cards and printouts, users interacted with third generation computers through keyboards. They started using keyboards and monitors and interfaced with operating systems. And it is allowed the device to run many different applications, not only to store the data, to give the instructions. It started able to give the more number of advantages, like different applications can be used in the third generations. Integrated circuits are very small in size. In the third generation, improved performance, production cost is cheap when compared to the second generation. Fourth generation is, see, this is some wrong information which they have given. Present in the sense, it was up to 1990s, 1971 to 1990s. Okay, here they have used microprocessors. Okay, vacuum tubes, transistors, semiconductors, microprocessors. ఇవి బ్లైండ్ గా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి, ఇందులో నుంచి కూడా డెఫినెట్ గా ఒక క్వశ్చన్ వస్తుంది. ఓకే, as thousands of integrated circuits were built onto a single silicon chip. So Intel, these are the examples. Developed in 1971, located all the components of the computer. This is able to locate and it is able to keep all the things which we are used already in the first generation, second generation. And in the third generation, we are able to put all the devices which we are using to give the instructions or to store the memory or to use the applications. We are able to access only with the silicon chips or like silicon chips, microprocessors. From the central processing unit and memory to input and controls on a single chip, we can access everything with the single chip. Fourth generation computers are also saw the development of GUIs and the mouse and handheld devices. So mostly the examples of fourth generation computers are like this. Fifth generation computers. So from 1990 to present what we are in, and in the future also we can be treated as like fifth generation till we see any new development. Okay, fifth generation computing devices based on artificial intelligence. Everybody know, I think you know about AI, artificial intelligence, and are still in development. Through there are some applications such as voice recognition, thumb recognition కానీ వాయిస్ రికగ్నైజేషన్ కానీ. నేను చెప్పాను కదా, మీ మొబైల్స్లో మీరు ఎలా సెక్యూరిటీగా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు, మీ పాస్వర్డ్ని ఎలా సెట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు అని అంటే ఫేస్ రికగ్నైజేషన్, వాయిస్ రికగ్నైజేషన్, థంబ్, దెర్ ఆర్ సో మెనీ ఆప్షన్స్ కదా, మీకే నాకంటే బాగా తెలుసు. అవన్నీ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ the technology which we have right now. The use of parallel processing and superconductors is helping to make artificial intelligence a reality. The goal of fifth generation computing is to develop devices that respond to our natural language input and are capable of learning and self-organization. See, the computers which we have till now is like మనం ఏదైనా instruction ఇస్తే something we need to type on the system. So then only it is able to give the response. But the artificial intelligence is something different. So what is that we are thinking in the mind? Definitely it is like in our mind, inka, okay. So I'm trying to think something in my mind, but that is going to reflect as answer in front of my screen. That is nothing but the artificial intelligence. It is going to grab the things which is already there in the mind. సో మనం చెప్పి ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ ఇచ్చి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసేదానికంటే నా మైండ్లో థాట్స్ని ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా పెట్టడానికి అలాంటి టెక్నాలజీ కూడా వస్తుంది ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ తోటి. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఈస్ సంథింగ్ అబౌట్ 5th generation కంప్యూటర్స్. సో యూ కెన్ కన్సిడర్ లైక్ రోబోట్స్. రోబోట్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, మీకు అందరికీ తెలుసు కదా రోబోట్స్ గురించి. సో దాట్ కెన్ బి ట్రీటెడ్ యాజ్ లైక్ 5th generation computers. So now let us see one more topic, internet. So what is the use of this internet? You know better than me, right? Why we are using this internet? What is internet? At least do you know that? So internet లేనిది మనం ఈ రోజు క్లాసెస్ కూడా రన్ చేసే వాళ్ళం కాదు కదా, right? So internet is a global collection of people. It is bringing everyone together. People's computers or mobiles which are linked together by cables or wireless connections and telephone lines, making communication possible among them in a common language. So whatever the language we know, it is able to communicate in between different parties. However, the rigid technology definition of internet is that it is a global connection of interconnected networks. Internet is nothing but interconnected networks. By definition, a network allows computer users to share computer equipment and programs, messages and information available at one site. Okay, so I think how does internet works? We know that internet unte mana mobile panchestadi, internet untene manam Zoom classes vintamu, internet untene everything is possible only if we have internet connection. అంతవరకు క్లియర్ కదా మీరంతా? బట్ హౌ మెనీ ఆఫ్ యూ నో దట్ హౌ డస్ ఇంటర్నెట్ వర్క్స్, రైట్? దట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సి మనకి కొన్ని ఏ ప్లస్ బి హోల్ స్క్వేర్ అంటే ఏ స్క్వేర్ ప్లస్ బి స్క్వేర్ ప్లస్ 2ab అని తెలుస్తుంది, కానీ అది ఎందుకు అలా వచ్చింది అని అంటే వీ నీడ్ టు లెర్న్ మ్యాథ్స్, రైట్? సో బిఫోర్ యూటిలైజింగ్ దిస్ ఇంటర్నెట్ కనెక్షన్ విల్ ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్ హౌ ద ఇంటర్నెట్ వర్క్స్. మేడం మేము తెలుసుకుంటే మాకు ఏంటి యూజ్ అని అంటే దీంట్లో కొన్ని వర్డ్స్ వస్తాయమ్మా, వాళ్ళు దాంట్లో నుంచి క్వశ్చన్స్ అడుగుతారు. ఆ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ గురించి చెప్తున్నాను. ఓకే, దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ద థింగ్ విచ్ యూ నీడ్ టు నో. A computer network by definition allows a sharing of resources. See, what you will do if you have internet connection, you will try to message to your friend, you will try to share your documents, you will try to share your pictures, right? Since all software resources exist in computers in the form of files and data, we can store in certain place, but if I want to transfer that from that place to another place, definitely I need to have one internet connection. One of the key aspects in the network of many computers is to move data between two specific computers. See, I have taken one selfie that I want to transfer to someone. So if I don't have internet connection, how I am going to send it to some other person, right? So this is the facility which is going to be provided by the internet. The address of the destination, definitely if you want to send one messages or one photo or one data, definitely that should have one destination address. And it is a safe means of moving data in the form of electronic devices. So just I am not going to read the complete thing. So try to remember this abbreviations: TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, IP, Internet Protocol. Just now we have discussed. నేను వేరే వాళ్ళకి మెసేజ్ పంపించాలి అన్నట్టు. ఇప్పుడు see, if I want to send one post, so most of you got college brochures also, right? మీకు కొరియర్ పోస్ట్ వచ్చాయి కదా. సో అవి ఎలా వచ్చాయి? మీ అడ్రస్ మా దగ్గర ఉంది కాబట్టి వచ్చాయి. అలానే నేను ఒక మెసేజ్ ని ఇంటర్నెట్ లో నుంచి పంపించాలి అని అంటే నీ మొబైల్ కి కూడా ఒక ఇంటర్నెట్ ప్రోటోకాల్, transmission control protocol. See, these are the basic rules which we need to follow. If your mobile is not having this internet protocol, definitely we can't send the message or we can't receive the message. Okay, these two are collectively called as TCP/IP. For sending large block text or data to another machine, definitely we need to have TCP. And it is going to, again, I am not going to explain completely about this because we'll miss some other points, okay? See, many of you have your Gmail accounts, right? Okay. Your name will be here at the rate host name. Host is nothing but Gmail, Google. Domain is com. Okay. So in the same way, try to get some different mail IDs. If you see my mail ID is prashanti@sanskriti.bschool.com. Okay. Prashanti will be my name, but host is different. Sanskriti B School is host. Com will be the domain. Okay. So different mail IDs ఉంటాయి అందరికి gmail.com అనే ఉండాలి అని లేదు పోస్ట్ డిఫరెంట్ గా ఉండొచ్చు సో ఇట్ డిపెండ్స్ ఓకే host are in general individual machines of a particular location. We are going to create our own mail IDs based upon the location which we are existing right now. The resources of host machine is normally shared and can be utilized by any user in the internet. Okay, tools. I think you know much more than me about email. We are using this email. Email is the thing which we are using as a mediator, like media to send messages. ఇప్పుడు మనకి వాట్సాప్ ఉంది టెలిగ్రామ్ ఉంది అలానే ఇంతకుముందు ఈమెయిల్ ఉండేది అనమాట సో దిస్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో వన్ ఆఫ్ ద టూల్ విచ్ వీఆర్ యూజింగ్ ఓకే FAQs are nothing but frequently asked questions. Telnet is HTML, hypertext markup language. This is one of the language which we are using to create our web pages in the internet. Okay, మన web pages ni మనం create చేయడానికి మనం ఈ language ని use చేస్తున్నాం అన్నమాట. Okay, if you want to stay in Andhra Pradesh, definitely you need to know Telugu, right? If you want to put something in the web, like computer, internet, definitely you need to know hypertext markup language. Okay. So www means that is a worldwide web. It is a huge collection of hypertext pages. See, manam www.google.com ante enti. What is that? www means it is a huge collection of like whatever the questions you are posting on the Google, it is able to give the answers because it is a huge collection of all of your answers. It is one of the most flexible and exciting tools in the existing surfing the internet. Okay. Hypertext links, like if you click on one link, it is going to connect to the another web page, right? So adi hypertext antaru anamata. So SGML means standardized generalized markup language. If I go on explaining this, it will take 1 week. Okay. So hypertext transport protocol is to manage the links between one hypertext document and another document. So దీని కూడా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి HTTP, hypertext transport protocol. Home page will be the page which is going to be started by one user. URL, uniform resource locator. So the address which you are going to see, if I give www.sanskriti.bschool.com, that is my URL. Okay. It's a method of accessing internet resources. Instead of searching my information in the Google directly, you can go with your address. That is uniform resource locator. Okay. So this is something which you don't want. Browsers, web browsers, FTP. Again, FTP is also one of the abbreviation which is very important. File transfer protocol. Internal modem, external modem, modem that plugs into the expansion bus of personal computers. So if I want to connect to the internet, I may use internal modem or external modem. It depends on the device which you are trying to use. Okay, LEDs, try to know the abbreviation of LEDs. Usernet, this is something like ఇప్పుడు చెప్పిన అబ్రివేషన్స్ ఒకటి చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ అవి గుర్తుపెట్టుకుంటే చాలు మోస్ట్లీ ఇంటర్నెట్ రిలేటెడ్ దాంట్లో సో ఇందులో నుంచి కూడా ఒక క్వశ్చన్ వచ్చే ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది ఓకే సో ఐ పోస్ట్ దిస్ వెబ్సైట్ లింక్ హియర్ ఇన్ ద చాట్ బాక్స్ you paste it somewhere else, you can access through this. Okay, so you got Chat box lo vachindi sir. So you can access this information through that link, okay? Okay, ma, this is something about like computer terminology. So hope you have learned something. I am not telling that the complete ISET program is completely injected into your mind, but I was happy to see at least 22 members who are coming regularly. I would like to thank them. So tomorrow we are going to have a closing ceremony. Join in that also. After that, we'll have some like one mock test. Okay, don't leave the group. సో గ్రూప్ నుంచి ఎగ్జిట్ అవ్వద్దండి మా, ఎందుకంటే ఫర్దర్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ నాకు తెలిసిన ఏదైనా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఉన్నా, నాకు తెలిసిన యూస్ వచ్చే ఏమైనా లింక్స్ దొరికిన వెబ్సైట్ లింక్స్ ఎక్కడైనా మీకు యూజ్ అవుతుంది అని అంటే డెఫినెట్గా పోస్ట్ ఇట్ ఇన్ ద గ్రూప్. ఓకే, stay in the group and you be safe in your homes and try to learn something. Okay, all the best. You can share your experiences also. If you want to say something, you can share. You can share all that in tomorrow's class. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye. One more class is there. Just stay back. Analytical ability class is there. Okay, sir.